Folks, good to see you again. I'm going to talk about the questions that we have received on a couple, three subjects. We've received a lot of questions, and I'm finally getting around to actually talking about them in our podcast. I want to encourage you. You can call us at 410-902-0464 if you want us to talk about a particular topic. If a question you'd like to have be addressed and so forth. I've talked to a lot of folks on the phone and just gave them answers, but there are questions that are frequently asked, and so I want to share some of those with you today. Before I do it, of course, I've got to do my little commercial here. We have, we'll call them private pensions. They work like pensions that are available today with a 30% bonus. Now, what does it mean, a 30% bonus? Well, it means that your income would be 30% more. 30% more. That's pretty substantial. So, you take $100,000, it's suddenly 130, but your income that you'd be getting from it has also gone up 30%. We need every dollar we can get in these times with the economy the way it is and so forth. So if you're interested, the number again is 410-902-0464. I'm Mike Newmeyer still, and I'm here ready to help you. So give us a call. Now, the questions that I've tried to address today, made some notes on the answer to them, is the one question is that came up, one of the questions, the number one question I have written here is, should I put all my money for retirement into your products, meaning the private pension type products, the fixed index annuities? And so my answer is very simple. No, you should not. First of all, let me give you some ideas. You don't want to put all your money in anything, but I recommend that you place some money in a rainy day fund. Let me give you a percentage, maybe 10%, maybe more, but probably at least 10%. And today you can get pretty good rates at the bank. You can get almost 5% on some accounts. You don't want to put rainy day money, all of it, into a CD because you may need the money sooner than a year or 6 months or whatever. But you can put, some money in CDs, some money in passport accounts, money market accounts. Money market accounts are paying almost the same as CDs right now. So that's worth considering. Okay. So that's that answer on the rainy day fund. And then 20% for other investments. So, I've got folks that are staying in the market somewhat. Am I against the market? I'm not against the market. What I'm against is too much risk for one's age. So you need to look at that question. If you're 50 years old, you probably leave more money in the market than you would when you're 70. By 70, you may well be out of the market. You may be out of the market before then. Depends on your risk tolerance. And also, what do you got totally? Can you afford to lose 10% of the money in the market? Can you afford to lose 20%? Why would you lose it? You'd lose it if you had to sell those securities, okay, and they were down. Now, I've had people say, well, I never do that. Well, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But point is, you don't want to take more risk than you're comfortable with, thinking of what the consequences can be. So that's the second question. And the third question is, what about lifetime income products, the kinds of things we do? And I think a good number is 60 to 70% of your money ought to be in lifetime income, depending on, your need for lifetime income versus other income that you have. You got Social Security. You may have some income property. You may have other things, that you're getting income from. I have no way of knowing, but generally speaking, 60 to 70% is what people are comfortable with and what produces enough, constant income that can never go away and never go down. It'll always be there. So if you're going to get $2,000 a month, $3,000, $4,000 a month from these kinds of products, that will always be there. You're going to always get it monthly or annually, however you want it, and you can start it immediately. So you put the money in and, it takes 2 or 3 weeks to process it, but then you can start getting monthly checks or annual checks or whatever. And you can take 1 year at a time as the immediate income if you want to. So within a couple, 3 weeks, you can have 1 year's worth of income. So that's another thing. that people ask a lot about. The next question that is most frequent is Social Security, and I'm going to give you the basic ideas. These are not all the ideas. I mean, you can go down to the Social Security office. You can talk to somebody. I always suggest talk to the person that's been there the longest, maybe the oldest, but talk to the person that's been there the longest, because the rules change, and you want to know you're talking to somebody, give you information that's going to affect you when you start Social Security. Okay, so that's the first thing. Talk to the right person. Second thing is you can go to ss.gov, and you can look at it. You can create an account for yourself. Very easy instructions to follow. That will help you forecast income and so forth and so on. Show you all the rules. And if one of you passes away, husband or wife, what happens then? A lot of different rules that you ought to be aware of. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part is, right now the earliest you can start social is 62. And typically the earliest that you can get full benefits is 66, depending on when you were born. Most people are getting them, 67 and 3 months, 67 and 4, whatever. But you can find that out very easily by opening an account on ss.gov. Okay? Now, why do people wait from 62 to 66 or 7 or whatever it is? Well, they wait because they're going to get more money per month if they wait. But here's the caveat. When Social Security employees attend a seminar before retirement for themselves, what they're told there as employees, don't wait. Take it as early as you can. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because it takes about 9 months to make up the difference, or 9 years, 9 years to make up the difference that you passed up by starting early, even though you're not getting as much. So at 62, you're limited on how much you can earn. Correct. You're limited. Although some people go ahead and work and just pay the penalty or get reduced income. I'm not talking about that. I can figure those numbers out for you if you have some of the numbers that I need to work with. Okay. If you go to ss.gov, you can find that out also. But okay, so from 62 to 60, using the 66 age, just for the moment, that's 48 months. Now let's say that you were going to get $1,000 a month at 62. $1,000 a month if you retire at 62, with the constraints on how much you can earn without a penalty. So if you're really not going to work, well, then you would definitely do it. But if you did it at 62, then let's say hypothetically you were going to get $1,000 a month. And let's say that if you waited until 66 in this example, you were going to get $1,300 a month. What you're doing is you're passing up 48 checks, $48,000, so you can get $300 a month more 4 years later. That's the thing you got to consider. It takes about 9 years to make up the difference. Well, we don't know how long we're going to live. What if your health isn't very good? What if you need the money now? Whatever. But the point is, it takes about 9 years to make up for the money that you did not take during that period. That's the big thing to consider. I'll be happy to work that through with you. Okay, I can give you advice face to face. You can go on ss.gov. You can go to Social Security office and ask all kinds of questions, and they'll give them to you. But I woll say of all the choices, ss.gov is always there. You can look at it as many times as you want to. Just open the account and go back as often as you want to look at it. So those are a couple of things I want to share with you. The next thing I made notes on was Medicare, because people will say to me things like, "Do you think that Medicare benefits will remain the same, over time?" First of all, they never stay the same. Once a year, you're going to see a Medicare handbook that is going to bring you in writing a lot of changes. And you can make some changes each year if you want to. So I always tell everybody, do that. And then the other thing is, on the benefits, I think the best thing to look at in terms of benefits is look at Medicare Advantage. Find companies, plans and so forth that offer Medicare Advantage because it is much more inclusive and it has a lot of, I'll call ancillary benefits, that relate to health management than Medicare, just plain Medicare. So that's very worth looking at. Some, plans like Kaiser, of course, offer Medicare Advantage. Lots of other plans do. So look around, look at them, compare them to just regular Medicare. And I think that most people will end up wanting Medicare Advantage. That's the one that's now being promoted. Costs a little more, but you're getting a lot more benefits out of it. So that's what I would be looking at. And what about taxes? That's the last topic I want to discuss today. People actually ask me the question if I think taxes are going to go up. There isn't but one answer. They always go up, don't they? Now, we get tax relief sometimes, but here's the thing that people don't realize is inflation is taxes. If the government spends too much money, okay, then our costs go up. And when our costs go up, that's inflation. So keep that in mind. Unless we can curtail, unless we can stop spending as much money as we are, unless the economy grows at the same rate, then inflation is going to result. We've got inflation now, I can't even tell you, overall inflation. You know what it costs when you go to the grocery store. So what they call nominal inflation, okay, or core inflation, those numbers, they don't mean much to us because they're not telling you what it costs, how much inflation you've got in gasoline, how much inflation you've got at the grocery store. So that's what you want to think about. Is inflation is what for us is what we have to spend to get the things we need. Okay? And when they talk about core inflation, they're not counting gasoline or food. Those things, energy and food, are not counted. I looked at my BG&E bill this year. It's gone up tremendously. I don't know about you, but that's what my case has been. And so you want to remember that as far as you're concerned, it's what you pay at the grocery store. And incidentally, when inflation starts to come down, does that mean the prices are all going to drop at the grocery store? The only ones that are sure to drop are the commodities, because that's a market situation. So the commodities are what's on both ends of the store, the dairy and the meat and that sort of thing, and produce. They'll come down because they're dependent on those markets. But everything else in the middle, all of a sudden when inflation comes down, that doesn't mean the prices are going to immediately come down. What you'll see is more coupons. What you're doing is financing their marketing. But not everybody looks at coupons or uses coupons or clips the coupons, Not everybody does that. So as a result, you're not necessarily going to see a big reduction in your food. Well, you're not going to see a big reduction in food prices, except on the commodities, as I've said before, which is good. We spend a lot of money on protein, fish, meat, and so forth, and we spend a lot of money on dairy, butter and milk and yogurt and so on and so forth. So those are some thoughts for you. And I like trying to help people with these common sense sort of things. And I hope that you'll take the opportunity, if you have a question, just give us a call and you can give the question to Rodna or Eileen or me, and I will address the question on one of our podcasts. And I hope this information has helped you some today. And God bless it. God bless you. It's great to see you all. And I look forward to the next podcast. Thank you very much.